2025, get help.
Oh, yes.
2025, get help, girl.
We
Help.
knew there's going to
Help.
be a singing part.
Like a lot of the stuff I feel like that happens to me is because I've said out loud to the universe is the time I want this. This is what I want to do. And then I don't ask really for permission.
You have this amazing energy where I'm like, yes, like go for it.
When you want to really do something, like you really truly want it so badly that it hurts almost. Like I couldn't see myself staying where I was and doing what I wanted to do. And then coming to New York, was always my goal. There were times where I was nervous because, I came to the city, was in a studio. I had a cardboard box and a lamp and a couple clothes. And that's literally all I brought. I'm bartending, I'm waitressing, and in between I'm auditioning and nothing's really stuck yet. This is my first year there and it's hard. You're away from your family. You're starting your new friend group. But it was like, I can remember the feeling of thinking like, when will this be? And literally within a year of that, do what makes you happy and lead from a place of love, not scarcity. That scarcity shit will absolutely fuck you up. Oh, 2025, get help. 2025, get help, girl. The call is coming from inside the house. Help.
Help.
We knew there's going to be a singing part.
We were
We
like,
knew it.
there's going to be a singing part. We're so going to ask her to sing. We didn't have to ask you to sing
We
because
didn't have
Sarah
to ask
Sees
me.
is just fucking amazing. Hello,
Hi.
actress, producer, writer, and fifth term New York SAG-AFTRA board member.
Yes, God.
Just one. Hello.
Hi.
And national board seat for the first time.
Yeah, this is my first time running for the national board. I have sat on the national board when somebody's like, I want Sarah to, I'm booked or something, and I need, Sarah to sit in. Like Rosie O'Donnell's done that for me a bunch of times, and a couple of people, and I wanted my own seat. I was like, this is my year of like. I love it because even before we started recording, Ava was being so sweet and complimenting me. But like a lot of the stuff I feel like that happens to me is because I've said out loud to the universe or to people around me, this is the time I want this. This is what I want to do. And then I don't ask really for permission and I just go for it. And I feel like that helps.
That helps. And that's why I
And
love you
sometimes it
so
doesn't
much.
but sometimes it doesn't go the right way. Sometimes you have a loss or whatever, whether it's an election, whether it's a role, whether we all know about that as a role, you just have to take it as they come. And I feel like, what I like try to do is say, this is what I'm ready for. Is the world ready for it? I don't know, but
See, that's
I'm
what I
gonna
was
figure it
saying
out.
before we started recording is that Sarah, I love her. Very lucky to have met you a few years ago and just
yeah.
look up to you, I have to say, because you have this amazing energy where I'm like, yes, like go for it. Like you are not waiting for permission. You are just like, okay, what's the next step? Where am I going?
Hmm.
What do I want? Always with love and respect towards everyone else around you. I've never seen anything else but that. And I just love it. And that's why I said everything you touch turns to gold. And you know what's interesting? We talked about it before. It's like that you knew so early on, like you were describing your childhood and you were like
Right.
immediately in the acting and da 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 da. And like, where this sense of clarity came so early. Like, please tell us that.
It's so weird to even think I'm one of those people that I feel like I was 5 going on 47,
Yeah.
like I'd be like, hello, let's talk about this. They're like, aren't you a
Oh,
kid?
grown
What's
up.
wrong with
All
you?
wise.
I would say thought she was wise. I don't know if I was wise because
Mm-hmm.
who's very smart when you're 5? I don't know. Maybe you are.
Everyone.
Who's been I had been through it. I was like, oh, I'm
Like I've
5. So much
done it
happened.
all,
I've done
guys.
all
I
of it. I'm
can't.
exhausted. Where's my retirement? No. Um, when I when I was younger, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I think there's your environment and then who you are, and I think it just aligned that not only am I like but I love being creative. I love exploring. I loved, when I was little, I would be like a pirate one day, and my parents would let me go to school like that, or I would be like
Dope.
for Halloween I'd be Belle, and then the next year I'd be the Beast. Because I was just like exploring, like I was just being characters all the time, and my parents were never like, "Don't do that, that's weird," or like, don't don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they also knew, I think there's something, and this kind of goes in with what I just said. When I was little, I just knew that I was meant to perform for sure,
Mm.
that I loved people and that I loved to communicate with people and perform for people and make them smile and make them laugh. And like,
Mm.
for some reason that always has like done it for me, like
Mm.
really done it for me. And I remember like it was my third birthday or fourth birthday or something, and my parents got me like so 90s got me like a little like microphone that sounds terrible. It's like like terrible microphone, like bad. That was like pink and cute. And and I took the mic and they were like, "You'll love this gift. We don't know what she's gonna do with it, but she'll probably sing or something." And I ended up interviewing every single guest at my birthday party, the adults and the kids. And my parents were like, I think she's gonna do something with entertainment. We're not really sure what she's gonna be doing, but yeah, it
I
was really
mean,
cool.
shout out to your parents that they were
Yeah.
not the parents that were like afraid or like, oh, she has to fit
Mm.
in, or maybe not like do it in a kind way, but kind of like, let's not wear that today.
hmm
We don't want you to be seen as
Let's
the
not. Yeah,
beast.
no,
Let's not do
you know
that.
what? It's so real. It's so real because, especially where I was growing up in middle America. I was not in a major city. I was born in Baltimore, but we moved to like the nowhere. Although I loved it, but it was like woodsy and more cows than people, and like, and I went to a Christian preschool, and I feel like me being me was so not the norm. And my
Mm,
parents, even with my father's background specifically, he's not in the arts. He comes from a very conservative family. It's a different setting. Here I come out me fully, like wild. And he could have been different. He could have treated me like, hey, we need to, but it was never like that. It's almost like they by raising me, and I was their first kid. I have a younger brother too. Um, he's not an actor. He's actually, sane and normal. But when I
What
came
is
out,
he doing? Tell us.
please,
he
can we
works.
talk about your brother?
Let's talk about my brother. I love him. We're about 4 years apart. He's my little boo boo. I loved him. He was like, as soon as he was born, he was like my baked in best friend.
Mm,
I was never that older sibling that was like, oh, the attention because,
Mm.
or something, or I'm going to lose something by I was so excited. I think my parents say the first thing I said when I saw him was like, he's the most beautiful little human I've
oh,
ever seen. And so
oh.
I was obsessed. I'm obsessed. He works for a hospital. He does all their like supply, like all their vaccines. He makes sure everything's stocked. Like he's like up there in terms of like supplies for
Mm,
hospitals and stuff. And he works. It's totally, obviously, totally different than what I do. But yeah, we're totally different. But we were raised by, I think, and I know, really supportive parents that always,
yeah.
even though I'm sure, I had relatives that were weirded out by, who I was. They were a little bit like, I even had grandparents that actually never came to my dance recitals until I was maybe in high school because they said they were like too much risque or some religious weird
Mm.
shit. And I just remember being like, whatever. I was never letting that make me feel like
Mm,
I'm off or something I'm doing wrong because I knew what I was doing was right because for me it felt like a loving, fun, creative way to express yourself. So I would just tell them, I was like, if you don't want to come, that hurts my feelings, but like that's on you. I'm gonna keep doing it. So
wow.
yeah. And by the time they passed, because my grandparents were actually some of my favorite people, but as time went on and they got used to everything I do. I mean, I literally they helped donate to Riding the D with Dr. Seeds, the show I sold to Amazon,
Wow.
which is sounds like a porn, it's supposed to. And these folks gave money for that, and I never would have seen that coming a mile away, but I think it's years of just being like, you know what, Sarah's just like doing her thing and it's actually really cool. And they started to come more to my plays as I got older and come more to things. So I think to go back, I think it's, I'm really admiring my parents for being from where they're from, and it could have gone differently. It could have
Mm,
been like,
mm.
Sarah wants to be the first female president. We're still not there, of course. Well,
We're
here we
gonna
go.
get there, you guys.
Not
We
yet.
gotta get there. I'm just talking America-centric things. Sorry, it's we're not the center of the universe, but that's that's where I'm coming
It's
from.
your
So
center of the universe, so hey.
yeah, it has. I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm like, where am I? Thankfully, my center is now New York. But yeah, president. I wanted to be the president of the United States, female. I wanted to be a paleontologist because I love dinosaurs, and I wanted to be an astronaut. And those were all
Mm,
my first favorite things. So they built me a rocket out of cardboard in my basement. My dad did.
Hmm.
It's so sweet. But then I
Wow.
realized that all those things are great, but I could be all those things as an actor. You
Yes.
Yes.
know what I'm saying? So I
Oh,
wanted to
that's
be
the
so many
best.
things, and it's hard when you want to be everything, but it's also awesome because I don't know, like I said, I've always known who I was,
Mm.
and just kind of kept it moving. If people don't agree, that's on them. I think I've had a lot of really intense reactions possibly to myself, especially in high school. I had a lot of friends. I had a lot of really great people in my life, but I had a lot of people also at high school that didn't know how to, coming in a small place in a small town, didn't
Mm-hmm.
know how to react to me saying, I want to move to New York or LA. I'm going to be big. I'm going to do this. I want to act forever. And I think that a couple people were like,
Mm.
what? That's a little whatever. And I got some I think pushback from that, but I just kept it going, and I never made myself smaller so they could feel better. So I refused to do that. So yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Tell us about your experience with New York because you said then you came there, you came with almost nothing.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah,
I
obviously that hustling should have been
yeah,
big time.
I always say too, it's like when you want to really do something, like you really truly want it so badly that it hurts almost. Like I couldn't see myself staying where I was and doing what I wanted to do. Now, for some people, there's great theater, and I ended up moving to Richmond, Virginia later in life, because I started with just church plays.
Mhm.
My Noah's Ark experience where I was the lawyer trying to shut down Noah's Ark. Super accurate, obviously, very by the book.
Yeah.
And I had lines and lines and lines. And when I went off stage and I just heard people laughing, and I just like, oh my gosh. I was like, and I'm just reading, like, it was just that's when I knew it was the thing. So I continued
Hmm.
from there. And then coming to New York, was always my goal. I had visited New York as a teenager. And it was one of those New York magic moments where I get off the bus to look at colleges, because I really wanted to go to NYU, to look at colleges. And I get off the bus and like I'm standing in the street and I see all these like stoops and brownstones, and I just see like a drag queen, I think, someone running full speed in a tutu, living their best life.
New
And I saw
York.
people in New York. I saw people on a stoop drinking red wine, and I was like, what is going on? I heard music, I smelled all these different foods, and I was like, damn, this is so. And everyone was a fast walker, which was like something I
Mm.
really was my whole life. I was always like, you're walking so slow. And like, why was I like that? I was in the middle of nowhere. Like, we don't have to go fast. But I was always like, I'm going to have a leather jacket and I'm going to be walking so fast in New York. You don't even know.
Mm.
But moving there was really crazy. I moved there at that point. My family had moved to Virginia.
Mm.
And I wasn't able to afford NYU because I was out of state. So what I did was ended up going to George Mason University, great school. And they were really excellent at the time specifically. They really did have an excellent theater program. I think they still do. And I was doing professional DC theater as well as theater. And it was in state. So I didn't come out of it with like, I still had some student loans because America be American.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew though as soon as I graduated, it was time to go to NYU. And I also got a scholarship finally to go to NYU in the summer to do Stone Street Studios, which is a TV and film intensive.
Okay.
So the me falling into the film and TV actually happened before I ever moved to New York. I just went for a summer because of a scholarship. And I was like, I'm doing theater, theater gal. This is me. I'm gal, I'm theater gal. And what was crazy was I always felt in my brain or whatever that something was missing.
Mm.
Not that I love live theater. I think that's the most beautiful thing is that people are experiencing it with you, and they're everything I'm doing, they're hanging on my every word, and we're all in this together. And
Mm-hmm.
I get to play off someone live like repeatedly, and also try new things every show or see where we go. That's what I love about it. What I didn't love about it though, and I couldn't put my finger on it entirely until I did film, was
Mm.
that I didn't like it that I would have to sometimes overplay
Mm.
emotions or
Yeah.
overplay a thing so the people in the back can see it. Because, yeah, I should. So everyone
So
gets
you
the
could reach
show.
everyone, right?
Right. But that part felt dishonest because in
Mm-hmm.
real life, I would never be like, I'll have a cup of coffee or like I'm going to say it this loud
It's
and go
like,
like this and make sure my
can you
body is
hear
here.
me
And
over there?
yes, yes. Jonathan, how dare you? Um, so I started to do a lot of straight plays. I got out of the musical scene, not because it wasn't like a thing I did. It was because I just preferred more of a straight play where we could really get into the nitty gritty and not be interrupted by music. I don't know why,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? I
Hmm.
love musicals. I love them. I did them for many years, but I just really loved straight plays. But I think my just plays turned into film because it was almost like the next step in like realism,
Hmm.
real realism. So I went to Stone Street Studios and I was still in college and I was young when I went. I went to college at 17 and I graduated, I think, when I was just turning 21,
Mm.
if even. And so I got a scholarship to go in summer. I go to Stone Street Studios, and I think, and shout out to them because a lot of us have come from Stone Street. Miles Teller is from Stone Street, Rachel Brosnahan, Selma Blair. A lot of us did that program. Lady Gaga did that program. It's crazy. Uh, and some of them
Not
were
bad.
yeah, not bad. Some of them were in my year. Some of them were right before me. Some of them were, Selva's before by a bit, but me and Miles were similar. Like there were certain people that, we were just like, this is interesting. And Gary and Alyssa Bennett are great. They run the studio. And my first day, they put my face on like 20 TV screens, zoomed in like this. So it was my face like under a microscope essentially in every single thing. And I was like mesmerized. I was like, why is my face so big? Why are we doing this? And they're like, Sarah, show us emotion. Show us something like you're feeling sad right now. Give yourself a, and I would do it. And they'd be like, too much. Just do it.
Ah,
Just be.
right.
Whoa.
It's
Too
the
much.
camera
Just be.
work. It's the
And
camera
then
work.
all of a sudden my brain went, like that thing that you felt weird about, it doesn't exist in film unless it's like a piece that's like or like a movie where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Broadway novelty, like there's
yeah,
like a silent film energy, whatever it is. Some films will lend themselves to being more stylized than whatever.
yeah.
But this was for real stripped down like film acting. And when they told me, don't don't try to give us what we want, just be,
Mm.
and the camera will pick it up. And they recorded it and seeing my face on all those screens being like like theatery,
Yeah,
like and then being like just and they're
yeah,
like, there it is.
yeah.
And I literally like something in my brain just exploded. I was like, this is it. Holy shit, I just figured it out. I was trying to figure out, like I was getting close. I know who I am. I know what I like. I don't have a confidence issue. Sorry, guys.
Mhm.
Sometimes for the worst. Um, and uh, and now I get what's getting me. What's really getting me.
Mm.
Like I had it,
Yeah.
but something was a little bit off, and then I figured it out, and that's when it happened. So once I did that, and I went back to Virginia to finish up college, I
Mm.
was like, I got to get back to New York as soon
You
as I
had the bug.
graduate. I have to. I have
Yeah.
to. I have
Mm.
to.
Okay, you knew
So
exactly.
sorry to roundabout answer your question. Moving
No,
there.
I love it. I
Yeah, I
love
don't.
it.
Can you walk us through what went through your head back then you first came to New York? Obviously, like it's such a different energy. I've never been, but I
Oh,
obviously saw so many movies and read so many things about New York. Also, I think it was Fran Lebowitz interview. She was also telling about how people move in New York is so
yes.
different, and like everyone is like fast, fast, fast. And if she spots someone who's being a bit uh, less fast, she would go mad, completely mad. She
Mm-hmm.
feels like this is
Mm-hmm.
like not the energy of New York.
It's like,
What was it like your first day? Can you remember? Was it like a mind-blowing thing?
yeah. I mean, my first day seeing it was like affirming, but I felt like I was like when I did the Stone Street program, it felt more like I was visiting, but I knew I was
Mm,
going to come back. But it wasn't until I seriously was like, hey, everyone I know and love is hours away, like oh, far,
mm,
far away. I have no
Mm.
one here, no one. I got an internship at Stone Street to like get my foot in the door. So I knew that I would still have a tribe there. But otherwise, I was completely and utterly alone. And I really kind of loved that I was kind of creating my own world, my own future in a city that I have been to, I've dreamed about, I have how do I describe that I feel like is a person to me. You know,
Mm.
that's the thing a lot of us New Yorkers will say, because I've been here now 16 years. I think a lot of us, I mean, my husband's a New Yorker born and raised. So I guess he's still the New Yorker, but uh, I don't know. There's something about when I first got here and I just kind of looked around and I was, because I didn't know what I was doing. I got a job at a restaurant and I lied and said I had server experience. And then when I got that job, immediately, I did it before I moved there. I just applied, and ran to different restaurants. Me and my mom went up. My parents are great. Me and my mom ran around to all the different restaurants, and
Amazing.
I got a job somewhere. I elaborated a little bit of my skill set, but I'm adaptable, so I know I'd rise to the challenge. And so then from there, I was like, well, let me pick my apartment based on where I'm working. That way, everything's walkable, and then I can
Hmm.
learn from there outwardly to the whole city. Because the subway system at first can be really like now it's like the back of my hand. I don't even think about it, but it's like then it was very wild. Um, and I remember just being on my block and it was brownstones and it was like people delivering stuff early in the morning and kids on the playground and people, I don't know, just like living their best lives and living in an ecosystem and an environment that
Mm.
I wasn't used to. There wasn't this energy of like, because I grew up in all different spaces, and I do love that about my life that I was from somewhere else and I came here, so I know what it's like, the gift to live here. You know,
Mm.
I feel like some people grow up in New York and they live in New York. By the end, they're like, oh, I'm sick of it, or like they don't appreciate that I can walk down the block
Mm.
and go on an adventure like Alice in Wonderland
Mm.
and no matter what, even if I have no plans, I will find there's something's hap some festival's going to be happening. Somebody's going to be playing music. Somebody's going to be like, I'm doing a weird poetry reading down the block, come see it. Or somebody's going to be like, welcome to this coffee house. There's a list of like, slam poetry night for women and there's community and I don't know, it's just there's something about New York that makes me feel like I have a very cool older sister who
Mm.
just always knows what's up and
Mm.
always gives me like the tea and the information on what's happening. And also it's rejuvenating. I really suggest sometimes I'll get caught because we're humans and
Mm.
we get caught up in like our everyday monotonous, I read the news, I did this, this is crazy.
Mm.
And I forget sometimes I live in New York, babes. I could walk down the block and there's a park right there. I can overlook the Hudson. I can smell some flowers. I can go to a Renaissance fair that randomly is happening in the I can go to I can go to a taste the best food in the world that just go to there's just something about New York that's just so
Mm.
vibrant and so alive. And I never felt that way about anywhere. Everywhere else I lived, which I liked, believe me, I liked all of it. But
Mm.
New York is very eclectic. I never feel like I'm in an area other than specific, maybe neighborhoods that focus on a specific culture, like Chinatown or Little Italy. Yes, there's a lot of the same type of folks there, possibly culturally,
Mm.
but overall, our city is so mixed, and I think that's why I love it so much too, because it's messy, it's figuring itself out all the time, but it's like gorgeous and embracing, and even on the days where I'm like, people will say things. What I love about New York too is everyone has an opinion on it, which I love because like I'll go somewhere else. Like I was just in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, for a booking, and everyone asked me like, "Where are you from?" And I'd be like, "I live in New York." And some people would be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." Some people would say immediately, "I could never live there. I could just never live there." And it got to the point where I was getting like tired because like 2 weeks of this. And I was like, finally, I was like, yeah, I agreed. I can never live here. You have like a Dollar Tree and
Yeah.
nothing. I would literally go,
Dollar Tree.
and they're like, oh, I was like, exactly. I didn't ask for your opinion on it, but it's fine.
Give me
Um,
your opinion. It's fine. You know what's
fine. Give me your
interesting? When
opinion.
I was in New York the first time, like 2 years ago,
Hmm.
I don't know why, but it felt like I'd been there before. I'm like, have I been here in a past life or something? It was so confusing. And my friend was like, I was running down and over the streets and wasn't taking care. Like I kind of felt the cars. I knew exactly I could just run over here and stuff. And she was like, have you
Yes.
been here before? And I was like, nope. And I cannot tell you why it's so familiar and easy. And I don't know why.
It is. And again, it's not for everybody. I mean, it's for like
No.
11 million people. So it is for a lot of people. But it's not for every. See, we had that pride thing. We're like, whatever.
It's not for
But there's a
everyone.
reason. It's not for everyone. That's fine. Some people can't hang, and that's cool. No, but it's like, sorry, I'm getting shady. I'll get my fan out. This is like my.
Let's do something else. Hello.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly. Why
Yes.
is this good? Please continue because we're gonna go
Yes.
to SAG-AFTRA.
No, it's cool.
And oh my God. So what I want to ask you is, first of all, getting the card, like first
Oh,
time holding it, like how did you get it? What was the job? Like what
yeah,
did it feel like? Because
yeah,
so many of actors like dream of just holding it in their hands. And then
yeah,
from that moment to like fifth term New
yeah,
York SAG-AFTRA board member and now
yeah,
even national board member,
yeah.
girl. I
That's
mean,
crazy.
hello? Please tell us about that.
What's so great about this too is that I love when I do like a podcast interview about and anything and we recollect and we look back on things because it reminds me of how far we all go, how far we all have come. I
Mm,
think everyone should do this exercise where we look back and like even as actors, let me look at my
yeah.
resume from last year and I'd be like, oh damn, she is doing stuff. Um, but I remember going back to when I first moved to New York, as much as I was obsessed and happy to be there and it was everything. It was hard because it was my first time other than college, completely paying all my bills, completely, I didn't have a parent, funding my life. I had to work and I had to
Mm,
figure it out. And there were times where I was nervous because, I came to the city, was in a studio. I had like a air mattress and a cardboard box and a lamp and a couple clothes. And that's literally all I brought, And, yeah, then to be working at a restaurant and there was a patron who came in who was paying their bill and
mm,
they took out their credit card and out of their wallet came their SAG card at the time. It was just SAG, but SAG after their card came out. And I looked at it and I looked at them and I had to go in the back room and just started crying
oh,
because I was like, this seems so far away. I'm here. I'm in the city, you know, but I'm bartending, I'm waitressing, and in between I'm auditioning, and nothing's really stuck yet. This is my first year there, and it's hard. You're away from your family. You're starting your new friend group. You're getting friends. I did, but it was like I can remember the feeling of thinking like, when will this be? When? How will I get this card? I really want it. It's elusive. And literally within a year of that, because I really was hunkering down, really applying to get a booking on something. I was submitting myself to things on like Actors Access or looking at Backstage at the time. I don't look at Backstage anymore. Sorry, not a sponsor because they don't have a lot of like not backgroundy stuff or
mm,
union stuff as much. But Actors Access, casting networks, all these things. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have you know, a way to get in the door. And so I just really applied myself to meet as many as I could, to work on scene work, to film myself doing monologues at the time because that was actually still a thing and like do all this stuff. And then I got this mentor. His name's Jim Kerr.
mm,
He's my New York dad, essentially. Like he's such a sweet human and he is a famous DJ, very famous. There's footage of him interviewing the Beatles when he first started and he was only like 18 and already in like
Oh,
killing it.
wow.
And him and Howard Stern have been mortal enemies and then friends and then mortal yeah, it's an interesting dichotomy. Um, but anyway, I met him and the reason he plays into my SAG-AFTRA experience is that he at the time was on the board of AFTRA, one of the separate ones. American Federation of Television and Radio Artists is AFTRA.
Mhm.
SAG is Screen Actors Guild. So there was a time where when they were separate, TV shows were sometimes they were AFTRA, sometimes they were SAG, and it made no sense that they weren't together.
Mm,
But I had auditioned for I think a co-star on Damages with Glenn Close, and I did like I got a line, you know, and I remember being on set. She's right there, and I'm just
mm.
like, oh my God, wow. And it was about it was something about like I walk faster. Like I was kind of being a bitch, which was hilarious. To Glenn Close, how dare I? I would never. I'd rather like go in a hole than ever be
Yeah.
mean to her. Um, And it was just like a really one-liner. I don't even think it made the final cut, but that got me eligible for AFTRA because it was an AFTRA show. And then on the flip side, I booked an Apple commercial where I played a pregnant woman and I looked like I was 12. So I don't know why I got the commercial.
That is hilarious.
A little bit sus. The guy playing my husband, he's incredible. He's so sweet. I still am friends with him now, but he looked way older than I did because he looked like a normal person age. I've always looked like a little babu, and like it was like I was like, guys, this looks weird.
Something wrong.
It's very wrong here. Anyway, so that made me eligible for SAG. So Jim was like, you have to join the union. You have to come in. And I was like, I really want to. I'm concerned about money. I'm concerned about whatever. And he's like, here's what you got to do. He's like, AFTRA is $1,600. Okay. SAG at the time was 2,000 something, maybe just 2,000. And I was like, I can't do both. And he was like, well, join AFTRA because you did some legit work there. If you can get the money, and don't join SAG yet because they're going to merge and you'll be pulled in and you won't have to have paid both the things. And I was like, that's a really smart whatever. So I said to the universe, God, everybody, I was like, if I could just have $1,600, that'd be so cool. And I would join SAG-AFTRA. I would join AFTRA. And then I got my tax return back that year and it was $1,600.05. So I said, all right. So I took that money, joined AFTRA, and then they merged shortly after, very shortly after, I think within 6 months. And I was thankful for him for giving me the advice. It's nothing like it could have not happened, but he was just letting me know it's probably going to happen. So don't, either way, if I booked another SAG thing and then I became a must-join, I would have joined. But it was nice to save the money. I think he knew I worked so hard. I was in my early, like I was barely 22, maybe 22, and I was just scraping by. What's that?
Pregnant. 22,
pregnant, 22,
looked like 15.
Pregnant, looked like I was 12. It was really scary. Yeah, it was a weird
12,
time.
sorry.
Yeah, sure, 15 is good too. Probably 15 is a better one for the story. But anyway, yeah. So then once they merged, I was, fully. It was SAG-AFTRA. It was such a wonderful time. And then he's the one who kind of said, Sarah's got a lot of ideas. I think when you guys they were trying to start a next gen. Performers. That's people just starting out their career in their 20s and 30s. Fast forward now, I'm the chair of the whole thing. There's a national and a local, and I'm the chair of it, which is crazy. But they brought me in and they said, Sarah, what are your thoughts on the union? Where do you think they could do better? What do you, as a union member, why did you join? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just telling all these people sitting in the boardroom table that eventually I would preside in, not even thinking that I would be sitting at that very table that impressed the hell out of me because the boardroom, guys, in New York is crazy impressive. It's so gorgeous. And there's even a clip, I think I'll send it to you guys after this, that I did internally. Once I got Next Gen together, I was one of the original members. Once we all got together, we did little short videos for social media about the new New York space that they had just built. And my scene is like, oh my God, this table. Like whatever. I'm obsessed. So fast forward, it just kind of happened. And I think back all the time of that girl, because I thought I was a woman. I thought I was like so grown, but I was like a girl like crying in a bathroom at the restaurant I worked at over someone's SAG card because I just couldn't see like when would it happen, and I want to get it badly. I need this, and I wiped my eyes and said, girl, get it together, gal. No one came here to cry. You can cry, but no one came here for that. And apply yourself and see if you can get in the door. And I did. And it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. And when I do talks now at schools like NYU that I couldn't afford, but I do lectures, I talk to them, and I do lectures at schools that I could never have gone to. Now I'm telling students there how to, what the union is about, what to do. And as an actor, how to be someone who's making money, but also staying creative and staying in for the long haul in our industry, which is sometimes hard to do. It's very hard to do. We chose a really crazy profession, but it chose us. I mean, let's be real.
Shows us. Yeah.
Yeah. You feel that way too, right? You feel like, because the reason I do this is not because it's easy, because it's definitely not. I could do a 9 to 5. I could be a powerful bitch in Wall Street easily. I know I could. I'd come in the room and be like, this needs to go up. This is da-da-da. I see what is happening now. No arguments. Just do it. Like, we're doing it. We're going to be great. Let's go. But then I'd be like miserable. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be doing my creativity. I wouldn't be doing my, the thing I'm supposed to be here doing. So it is a harder, of course, it's a harder route.
Yeah.
But I really do believe it chose us because if I don't do this, I feel like my creativity dies, or my doesn't die, but it's dormant, and that shouldn't be how I live my life, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
But yes, SAG-AFTRA was such a fantastic choice. For everyone, it's different. People are like, I'm scared to join because then I don't want to not be able to do blah blah blah. But I was getting to the point where I was booking like non-union stuff, or as we like to call it, pre-union, non-union stuff. And there were times where I was like, hey, where's water? Will I get my footage? What scene is this? Why are you adding this weird thing to it? Like, what's going on? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I kind of got sick of, I just got so sick of that. And so when I was eligible, I joined right away and I haven't looked back. And I was
That's
young when I
good.
joined. I hadn't popped off yet, but I still believed enough that I wanted to be in the higher echelon and not go against, but to compete in some way or be in that, at least to me, it's never a competition. It's more of a like, am I in the room?
Mm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
matters. Do I get in that room? That's really what matters. Once I'm in the room, everything else is up to me, how it handles and the universe, but just get me in that room. And I that's what I wanted. I wanted to be in the room where it happens, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been incredible. I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's
And I
talk
tell
about your,
yeah.
oh, sorry.
No,
You
go
want
for
to
it.
say something about your work? And you
Mm.
already mentioned Dr. Seats.
Yeah, dude.
What an amazing title. I
Thank
told
you.
Eva I would go pink if I pronounce it, so I'll
You're
let
fine.
you.
It's fine. That was the idea.
It was
That was the idea.
hilarious. When we were reading it out, like the whole name, Valeria was like,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not gonna say that.
I love that.
Probably I
I
will.
love that.
I'm gonna say
But
Dr. Seats.
Dr.
I
Yeah,
love
Seats.
it.
But it became a breakthrough for you. And
it
that's
did.
something that you wrote and you also produced, right?
Yeah.
So how was it? How did it start it? How did you find your footing? Was it
Yeah.
with the same type of energy that we're experiencing with you now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, look, Dr. Seeds is me on steroids. It's like my brand of humor. It's a little off. It's a little wild. It's a lot of talking for sure. It's high
Mm,
energy. Um, and Dr. Seeds came out of again, it's that need of like, I need to express myself or I have an idea. And at the time, uh, I had I wrote a bunch of like silly little sketches, you know?
Mm.
Because I noticed that specifically at this time, there was still that stupid, how do I say, ideology that if you were in any way cute and in any way, like, I don't know, to be a funny girl, you had to look a certain way. It's some bullshit patriarchy,
mm,
sexism bullshit. Because
Mm.
men could be funny if you were handsome, if you were fat, if you were tall, skinny, blah, 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 if you were really thin, really, it doesn't matter, tall, short, whatever. It seemed like it still was happening for men, like, and any man could be in a comedy. But for
mm,
women, I just kept getting cast as these, like, she's the girl next door, she's the
mm,
girlfriend, she's the blah, blah, blah. And she literally was not funny at all. And I
Mm.
mm,
was like, I love drama. I can do drama, but I really love comedy too. And I've been funny, bruh. So like, why am I not getting comedy? And they would just
Mm.
kept saying like, you're the girl next door energy. You're not the
mm,
silly, crazy cuckoo, you know?
Mhm.
And so while this was all happening, I booked Amy Schumer. She had that show on Comedy Central. And I did a couple sketches. One of my favorite ones, and it's a voiceover. It's called it's a Christian dating site called Ashley Magdalene instead of Mary Magdalene instead of Ashley Madison. It's just about people who want to cheat that are Christians.
Oh my God.
It's so fucking good. And I was the wife of the guy, and we're walking, and he did that meme where he's like, at some other woman, it's like Ashley Magdalene, where you meet other Christians who want to be pieces of shit, or whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember what it was. So like, I was like, dude, I'm booking comedy in a level, even with being told that I'm the girl next door and whatever
Mm,
you say I am. I don't like being. I can be told what I am. That's fine. Market me. But I also love declaring my own. Like if I know I'm good at something, then this is stupid. Why am I hiding that part of my, or not fully investigating that part of myself?
mm,
So for Dr. Seeds, the reason I wrote "Riding the D" with Dr. Seeds was because I was riding the D train, literally, the D train, and I'm looking around this subway and I'm like, this place is crazy. I mean, this place is wild. This place is everybody's here from like somebody who possibly doesn't have a home to somebody who is like on Wall Street. There's people in suits, there's people
Mm.
wearing a bag over their head screaming. Like, there's all sorts of someone's cutting up a chicken, someone else is, you know, holding with their baby in the stroller and singing whatever songs, and I was like, this place is wild. What if, and this is so stupid, what if a therapist lost her shit and decided to practice on the subway? It would be absolute bonkers. So I did a kind of like a proof of concept. I did like I don't know if they're still on YouTube because I tried to hide them when I sold the show because it was like confusing. People were like, "Wait, I saw this thing on YouTube. Is that the show?" I'm like, "No, it's on Amazon." Well, shit. Okay.
Mm.
So I did this original YouTube series where I basically just accost people. I accost a pregnant woman who then gives birth, and I have to be like, and they're like, it's crazy. There was one where, I have like do you know who Lisa Frank is? That was really, was it an American thing? It's really colorful shit. It's like millennials. Here, I'll show you. So it's like this kind of colorful, like really stuff.
Mhm.
So us as a little girl, that was like the shit. Like you would be like, you're like, if you don't have a Lisa Frank folder, you're trash. So I brought
Yeah.
all my favorite childhood weirdness to being an adult who's also not okay on the subway, like a non-licensed
Oh, I
psychiatrist.
love it.
And so I just accost people. It was just crazy. And it was all hired actors. It was a SAG.
Hmm.
I made it SAG. It was very easy to do. Everyone's always like, it's so hard. I'm like, no, just email them and tell them what your idea is. And they'll be like, here's the contract. Just don't worry about it. Um, and I had a couple really cool people in it before they even popped off, like Gianmarco Ceresi, the stand-up comedian. I've known him for years. He was in it. And it really popped off. It kind of went viral. I think we had like 80,000 views on one of them really quickly. And this was back when it was just YouTube. TikTok didn't exist. And it was like, and Reels on Instagram were kind of like, so this was like the way. So after
Hmm.
we did that, my really close friend, Lindsay Elizabeth Hand, love her, she had produced the first one with me. And we had a different director, but I wrote it. And she was like, this could be, and she acted in it too, because she's an actress and she's great and funny. And she was like, this could really be something even more, Sarah. This could be like a narrative pilot with a story and with even more of a story. Like, how did she get here? What is her goal? Who is her assistant? What does she do? And so I started to write the full pilot. I wrote the pilot and I made a pitch deck of every single episode of season one. And I said, yeah, we got to make this. So we raised money on Kickstarter. I didn't want to, because I really didn't want to make my first thing that I make that's really big and it's a thing. I didn't want to go in the red on it. I wanted to make the money. And I wanted it to be as stressful as possible, apparently, because I chose Kickstarter, which is like, if you don't make it, you don't get anything. Do you know?
And
But that was more
Kickstarter is a
me.
lot of work. I mean,
Yeah,
how many were you? Because I was once looking into it and they were like, oh, there's this workshop around it. And they were like, well, you need for each, like, I don't know how many in the team if you want to reach this many people. And I'm like, how's that going to work?
dude. Yeah, no, it was wild because I wrote a video about, I wrote a sketch called Dr. Seeds Needs a Big Bag of Money. And then we filmed that. And that's what they just showed the sketch. That was our video. Our pitch video wasn't like, hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I need this. It was like just me being insane. And in the beginning, it was like me talking to my friend and saying like giving him a therapy session. I was like, you should speak to my boss. You should speak to my friend Tony Danza. He's the boss, and just being weird and like, whatever. So we just made this weird sketch and we shot it in an office that we just used. And we used every level. It was a one shot. It never ended. It didn't cut. It started with that. It started with me interviewing someone, then pushed, and then pushed back. And then my director sat in a chair that someone else pushed and she was talking to camera. And then it switched to me. And then Lindsay was pregnant again. That was always the joke. This woman is always pregnant. And her water breaks and I go underneath and I'm like, give us money. It's crazy shit, like absolutely off the wall. And we made the money. It was crazy. We had a fundraiser party. I did videos for people. It was like a full-time job for sure. I think we
Yeah.
raised 27,000 publicly, and then privately, I had some people
Whoa.
invest.
Whoa.
So
Is there any way that we can get the link to that video? for
Yeah,
the audience that we could put
done.
it in the show notes?
It's so dumb. You guys are gonna love it. It's the
I
dumb. When I say
love
things are
it.
dumb, I actually mean it in a nice way, if that makes sense. Like
Of course.
when I say things are like that is so stupid, I love that. Because like that's what I love is like when I do sometimes when I do comedy, especially Dr. Seeds,
Mm.
let's be insane. This is so dumb and stupid. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do you know? So
Yes,
yeah,
fully,
it's great.
yes.
It's stupid ookie kookie.
No,
So we
we
raised
definitely want to see that, you know, that people can see like how you raised it and what kind of video it was, and just it's not about never about copying, but hey guys, why not learn from each other
copy.
and
Guys,
you
copy. I
know,
agree.
copy and do your
Make your
own
money,
thing then,
artists.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. No, no, copy me, whatever you want to do. But yes, I get what you're saying. Like I think we all learn from each other. Art and
Mm-hmm.
we're all in this together. This is a try. This is you create your community. It's
Yeah,
never by
yeah.
yourself. It can't be. Or oh my God, yikes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I had a great director, but I had Lindsay, who was like my partner in crime. So luckily I had her and she has her production company, Edge in Motion. And yeah, we got the money and within like a month maybe we were filming and we had a set built. We
Mm.
built a fucked up D train that's like in her brain
Train.
because it's a canned audience and it's through her image. There's this clip in the pilot where you see what it actually looks like, and we shot that on the real train because there's a support group for people who've been accosted by her. That's an episode, and he describes meeting her, and the camera finally sees what the audience really
Mm.
should be seeing. But the main juicy bit of the pilot is in a fake D train set that we made out of three poster boards. We had an artist come in and spray paint all like a street artist,
Mm.
and then every window was a flat screen going in all different directions because her brain was like she was
Mm.
unhinged. And it's not making fun of mental health; it's actually making a commentary on it because you know I have family members and experiences with mental health stuff, and we do that like what's that thing that Pee Wee Herman used to do? They'd say a word and they'd be like, like we do that. I'll be like, you have, you know, and it's like a diagnosis, you know.
Mm.
And yeah, and so that's how we created the pilot, and it has a love story, it has a stakes, it has an antagonist, it has a, you know, a video game fight scene that was edited. It's got a pole dancing scene because why not? And so it's great.
Because why not?
Because why not? Because well, that was my way of doing Showtime. I don't know if you know, in New York, there's a lot of there's a lot of really incredible dancers that'll come on the train and they'll be like Showtime, and they'll
Oh,
do like
sure.
dope dancing, jump on the pole, but like
Yeah.
not like pole dancing, but like jumping on the pole and doing like cool like dancing. But this was my version of it. So I got a male stand-in with a wig like mine who does Cirque du Soleil, do magical tricks on the pole, and then he lands. And then when I come up, it's me again. I'm like, and then everyone behind me gives like scorecards. And then the sideways Jane, who's my one of my antagonists, she's always sideways on the train. She gives me like a two, and she's like, you know. But
How
anyway,
do you write things like that? What is
because it's all here,
It's
dude.
like
It's got to come
brain.
out. So after we made it, we did two things with it. We kept it 30 minutes and then we cut it up into smaller episodes. So it was like a full season if you cut it up into
Mm.
webisodes or you cut it up in a web series or like a social media digestible version, you know?
Mm.
So we did both, had it ready, and literally just a few months later, we were out in Los Angeles pitching it. So we met the vice president of comedy at Warner Brothers, and at the time they were like, "This is a little too
Mm.
left of center," and now they would eat that up. Do you know? Because the
Mm.
world's
Mhm.
changed. It wasn't
Mm.
as like this was before. This was the world was a little still too like in the studio circuit, and we want this image for our studio. Now studios are like, "Fuck it."
Mhm.
Mm.
Let me put that in there. Let me just put that in there. It's
Let's
fine.
be
It'll
as
it, like
extreme as possible. We need to be
right. We need to
seen.
be
We need,
wild.
yeah, and
Mm.
So
wild and have
eventually it
fun.
ended up getting what's so funny is I always knew I was like I feel like it's going to be the short version, the chopped up version, even though the long one is dope. But it's going to be the short one I think that's picked up because then they can say we have the first full season. And people were and this was right on COVID, right when COVID happened. People were you know, social media now is it, and everyone's watching videos that are like this long. And as much as I think people's attention spans can last longer, I
Mm.
think for your first thing out the gate that you're a creator of, like I was known for my acting at this point, but I was not known for my writing or my creating, you know.
Mm.
So it ended up getting picked up by Amazon, on Prime, which was very cool. Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool.
Hmm.
And I just so happened to get it picked up right in 2020. And they sent me the email in March, right when we locked down. And I mean,
Mm.
that was crazy because I remember being in my last commercial in-person audition, honestly, and probably since, because now I just do a lot of self tapes. I
Mm.
was in my last commercial audition and the world was about to be shut down. It was the day before. It was like March 13th, you
Mm.
know. And
Crazy.
yeah, I remember being in an audition and being like, I'm seeing the usual suspects that book commercials, like big earners, like people that book all the time. And I was like, where are you guys? It's just me and one girl. Where's everybody else? And like, no one else is coming. And I'm like, why? They're like, the pandemic's approaching. And I was like, fuck. So that was my last thing. And I was like, uh-oh. And so luckily in America, we had pandemic unemployment. We had blah, blah, blah. And also I was getting severance from doing producing work and cool work with Dolby. So I was okay. But I was also like, how do I act? What do I do?
Mm.
And then they sent me an email like the day after lockdown entirely, and I'm just sitting there like, what do I do? Um, and they said we want to put it on Amazon Prime, and I was like, no fucking way. And then a month went by and it hasn't been on yet, and so I bought this book called E3 or not E squared but E cubed, and it's about the universe. And the first day I got it, it said page one, if you want to believe in law of attraction or manifesting, write down on the page one, I think it was like the first lesson, something you want to happen in the next 24 hours. Like something you really you want it now and the universe will show you it's real. And I'm like, bitch, whatever. I'm like, okay, girl. So I write down, I want my show to be on Amazon tomorrow. I want my show to be on Amazon. I want to wake up and my show's on Amazon because they kept saying like it's gonna come, it's coming. But it just didn't, it was a month had gone by and I was like, where is it? Is it really gonna happen? Because we're in lockdown. Are we okay?
Mm.
Literally go to bed, wake up that morning, it was on Amazon. I woke up, I turned on Prime, and I just I looked Dr. Seeds up. I was like, it's never coming up, it never comes up, but we'll see. Dr. Seeds, there it is on the
Are
main page.
you kidding me?
And I
Wow.
was, yes, I'm
Oh
not
my
kidding you.
God.
It was
Oh
insane.
my God.
It was insane.
And
And I
after
was like,
that, you were like, this book is my Bible.
I was like, I love you. Be with me forever, girl. It just was crazy. And so that kind of started my trajectory of creating things and feeling empowered to and knowing what to do, and hiring the right team. I did not
Mm.
direct Dr. Seeds. I knew that I wanted to focus just on the acting. And then, of course, I was one of the executive producers that help assemble everything. But when I'm
Mm.
on set being Dr. Seeds, I
Mm.
want to be Dr. Seeds. I don't want to
Mm,
be
that's one,
directing.
yeah.
So Michelle Cotola was a fantastic director. She got us, and honestly, our DP was great. His name's Seth Hagenstein. He shot for Amy Schumer. So I was like, okay, we're getting all the goods. We're getting all the good people. Anyway, fast forward, it's picked up, it's played. It was just crazy,
But
just
let's talk
crazy.
about that. We say that started you creating because I would love, we heard something new now, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that is Bathed in the Night,
Yes,
which you did with your wonderful, amazingly talented hubby.
he's so
And he
talented.
has a beautiful name, Michael Pizzano? Pizzano?
Pisano, yeah,
Pizzano?
Michael Pisano, yeah, he's
Pizzano.
Italian.
Michael Pizzano. Yeah, okay.
Pisano, he's Italian and Greek, 50-50 down the middle. His mom is super Greek.
Really? Oh,
Her last name is
wow.
Marquez, and then his dad's
Marquez.
last name is Pisano. It's like the most
Pizzano.
like, and that's so Greek, and
Wow.
it's so Italian, like 100% both
And
sides. So
it's
he's
also
yeah,
like a shift 90 degrees or even more because now it's like a sci-fi and you just won best sci-fi at the what is it, Chain Film Festival.
Chain Film Festival in
Congratulations.
Manhattan. Yeah, it was
Hello.
so crazy. Yes, go on.
Do tell us about that. How was that and where are you at with I mean,
So
besides
yeah,
winning awards, hello.
thank you. So I wrote that as an exercise. And there's an article I sent you guys where they really did ask my process for writing it. And I wrote it in 20 minutes. So it was really weird. So basically, it was lockdown. I was in a writer's room on Zoom on lockdown.
Mm.
And that's where I met my husband actually on
Mm.
Zoom in a writer's room on lockdown. So you never know.
Nice.
Insane.
Not the
Nice.
apps, none of that shenanigans, which is great. A lot of my friends met their husbands on the apps. I met mine on a Zoom screen in a writer's room. So, you know, And we were doing this exercise, and it was, I believe it was, everybody knows like a full character arc is a certain thing, but Dan Harmon, who's a show creator for Community and other stuff, he he wrote this thing where it's like the five things that get you that have that a character has a full arc. And I was trying to myself write the shortest thing possible where a character goes through a full arc. And because we were in lockdown, and because I love sci-fi, and because I love horror and thrillers so badly, and I had already done a comedy, I was like, let me make something really dark. Let me make something that has barely any dialogue, that's all visual. Where Dr. Seuss was like, "Ba, ba, 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 comedy, ba, ba, ba." Whereas like this was cinematic. This is just visual, and I have lines here and there, but it's very intimate. And Bathed in the Night is just about a woman waiting out the apocalypse, but it's not like COVID at all. It's much much more intense. 98% of the population wiped out entirely. And then the ones that are there still, some of them are like my character, who possibly she's immune, possibly she's whatever. It's just her and her cat. Everyone else she knows is dead.
Mm.
And the other ones left, some of them are not human anymore. So there's like it's like a disease that did something to people. Not zombies, but there's another thing to it. And it doesn't explain a lot otherwise through, it only explains things through posters that I'll walk by that you see what happened to humans. Or there, when you see me, it's called Bathed in the Night because it's only in the, it, she feels like she's in internal darkness because she has to cover the windows. And her only solace is taking a bath, even though it's probably not warm, it's probably gross. But she just sits in the tub and stares at a picture of the guy that she was her husband or her love or her lover, whoever, her family. Um, and I had a prosthetic artist come in and do giant scars on my back, three long slash just or at an apartment. And to get back to the Dan Harmon of it all, the reason I wrote it was they were like, we want to see a full character arc, and a character arc is the following: the character exists, but they have a need, so they go out to search for that need. They end up getting the thing that they went for, but there's a cost, and then they're changed as a person. So I wanted to show that. And the movie is essentially a girl waiting out the apocalypse in a Manhattan apartment with her cat, sees a light in the distance for the first time, and ventures out into the city below. And yeah, shit goes crazy. So it's kind of like it's a cool, we shot it on an RE, which is an RE Mini, which is a lot of the Marvel movies are that, a lot of the, but not just Marvel, like a lot of the cinematic, very visually cinematic, but our lenses were from 1970. So we wanted to give it that gritty, Carpenter, John Carpenter, like horror, creepy, while having really good visuals, but that gritty New York. And it's very New York, this movie. Very New York. I mean, the first one is too. Riding the D with Dr. Seeds, a subway psychiatrist, that's New York, very much. But this is also another facet of New York. This is the whole city in a slumber. And yeah, that's like where we're at. And that was a proof of concept. I wrote it. I don't want to say what each step is because I want people to watch it, but it's part of a bigger feature because it's just a snapshot of one person living in this thing. And there is something that happens after. And I have that all. I'm about a quarter, I'd say, through the feature script. I have it all beaten out, though. I know every beat and what happens. And that's kind of the goal is to this proof of concept's really doing well. It's made it into multiple festivals. It keeps going and it's winning awards and it's really cool. And it's my first time making purely a horror that's very narrative storytelling, that's visual. And it's really been a beautiful experience. It's really wild. And I love horror. I love thrillers specifically. I'm not a big gore gal. I like more of like the creeping, like there's something lurking possibly in that corner, but I can't see it because the camera's not showing me, kind of shit. So yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Wow.
Sorry, I talk so much. I talk so much.
No,
I mean,
slowly.
it's been amazing having you. We still have a few questions. So is it okay with you if we just continue a little bit?
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I do want to say I have, and that one, my husband directed it. Um, and then he got a grant to make something of his own called Robotomy, which is a social commentary on fake news and how people are acting. It was actually about climate change deniers, but now it's about something else. And it's basically about a guy who thinks he's a robot, and the doctors keep telling him he's not a robot. And he's like, I am a robot. Cut off my hand and look. And they're like, okay. And then he's like, no, I am, but cut off this one, you know. And so it's like a really wild one. I produced that with him. So we shot that in the same year ish, same kind of window. And then we also helped produce a Greek diner pilot that my friends made, but I was the head producer on, and Mike directed that. So we worked together. Now we have three things in festivals as us as collaborators. But then as an actor, I also have another couple movies in the festival circuit and coming up. So
Wow,
yeah, crazy,
congratulations.
crazy,
I'd
crazy.
like to ask you, how is it to work with your husband?
It's great. What I love about working with him specifically is he's a very much an actor's director. I know people say that, and he's taken acting classes just so he could be a better director.
Mm.
Um, and I really do think he doesn't tell you exactly. He doesn't say like, do it again, but I'm telling you exactly what you should do.
Hmm.
He's really good at looking at it, and he'll check in and be like, how are you doing? We're intense. But also, um, it's great because he loves to let me just do it too, like see where I go. And he's really good at like reeling us back in or making sure everything's running smoothly. But to be honest, we're both very experienced. You know,
Mm.
we're in our 30s. We are, he's been doing it for years directing. I've been doing this for my whole life, you know, and I feel like there's a respect there that we know what we're doing, but there's like a really collaborative spirit. We are so passionate about it. And we're like that in real life. Where it's just it kind of is there's a healthy boundary on what is work and what is, you know, our personal life, but there is kind of like a meshing of ideas and an openness to play and an openness to find the discovery, especially when we work in tandem with our favorite DPs or our favorite cinematographers. We have a couple that we love. Nick DeLulo is one of our favorites, and he shot Bathed, he shot Robotomy, and he shot the Greek thing, and he shot something else I booked as an actor this year as the lead. So, and had nothing to do with any of us. I just booked it, and he happened to be the DP on it. So I was like, this world is crazy, you
The
know?
law of attraction.
Anyway, but work,
Yeah.
yeah, and somebody exactly, and it's kind of crazy to think that like something I was just like, yeah, I did Dr. C. It's funny, haha, ha ha ha, and it was great and well received. But I wanted to do something. I wanted to really flex that. I can also do horror. I can also do that. And
Sarah
yeah,
can do anything, to be
I
honest. That's
I
the
think everyone
thing
can. I
about
really do.
you.
Oh, thanks. I think it's because I look in the mirror and I'm like, whose permission do I need? Oh, you. Yeah, okay, we're good. I said yes. I look in the mirror, and my mirror person said, mm-hmm. And I go, okay,
Oh my
because why not?
Great.
And I have failed spectacularly before. I'm sure there's things that I made that I was like, you know, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I've done pretty good, but I think there are things that you make or you write that you're like, that was interesting. I'm gonna move to the next thing. You know, you don't know.
Mm.
You
Sarah,
don't
that
know.
is it. That's the thing. The thing is, you look in the mirror and you say, whose permission do I need? And it's your own. And you're like, done. Me. It's me. I'm looking at me. It's me.
Hi.
I
Hi.
decide. Guys, that's for all of
Yeah.
us to take that with us. That really is for all of us. Thank you.
I want everyone to do that. In fact, I'll send you guys this link too. I made it for SAG-AFTRA. They did it under their banner as official SAG-AFTRA content. It's on their YouTube. It's called The Pitch is Back. We love an allegory with bitch. I'm probably the only person who's on the national board who does talks where they're alluding like the bitch is back, but it says the pitch is back. Like I'm a wild card. It's okay.
And now you're
Anyway,
on Ambitchiously Intelligent
And now
podcast.
you're
So
exactly. And you can't say riding the D. I love that. Okay. Your literal podcast has bitch in it. I love it.
I
So
can write in the D.
there you
Oh,
go. She
girl, you did
did
it. I am
it.
so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you. You gave yourself permission
Thank
and you
you.
said it. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
That's fun.
But yeah, that's so true. I did a seminar called The Pitch is Back. You can Google it. It's on YouTube, everybody. And it's about believing in your idea because I believe all of us, I mean, every single person that is alive has a story to tell.
Mm.
And we need to see more of those stories. And
Mm.
you shouldn't stop yourself from doing it because the only permission you need is you. And that's what that seminar is about because it does get into the pitching of it. It does get into making a deck or making whatever the tools. But really, it's about getting the idea down and
Mm.
believing in it enough to write it down and believe that it deserves to be heard. And that's really what that was about. And that's why it was free and that's why I did it, you know?
Love it.
So I believe in that. I truly believe in that. I think everyone should make their story seen. It's just
Mm.
how I feel.
Mm.
Yeah. And you only need your own permission, guys, for real. You only need your own permission. There's no reason because I learned through some of us learned through just doing it, and some of us learned through waiting for permission or like really studying it and blah, blah, blah. I've done maybe a mix of both, but sometimes I just do it. And a lot of times when I just do it, it's the best learning experience of all time, and success comes from it. I'd never done a Kickstarter before. Look what happened. I never made a show before it got on Amazon. I've never made a horror. I mean, been in horrors. I love them, but as an actor, but I never made one. And now it's like winning awards and stuff. And that doesn't, you know, but again, the measurement of success is not based on like what statistic, where it lands, what it does. Some of my favorite things I've ever made, no one's ever seen a light of day. Or some of the things I've ever written, I don't share with the world because to me it was for me and I'm good. So
Mm.
success can mean anything. Success can purely mean that like you believe in yourself enough to just keep going.
Amen.
Yes. Amen. That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's
I
true.
think I
It's
think there's
beautiful because it's true.
it is true. And can I ask you one thing that is we all have this image of the starving artist and it's
No, yeah.
so stuck in people's minds and then it's kind of like yeah and then it's kind of like either you're famous and you have like millions and millions of dollars or you
Hmm.
are I don't know living on the street
Right.
and you had a short podcast. You had a podcast, not a short podcast. What's that about? But you had a beautiful
Hmm.
podcast. I want to be
I
a
did.
rich bitch.
Yeah, I want to be a rich bitch, baby. Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah.
We love the word bitch here,
We
ambitiously,
do.
as Valeria said. Um, what
Work.
is your takeaway about that? Like, what would you putting? Is that a diva? Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
Curious Elixir is not a sponsor, but they sponsored an event I did for SAG-AFTRA for the next gen performers. We had a step and repeat, and they Curious Elixirs is drinks that have the effects of alcohol, but they're not. It's not alcohol. It's got adaptogens and things to make you a little like ooh loosey goosey, buzzy, but no hangover, and it's not
Ooh.
alcohol. It's a
Guys, we're
healthy
not
way of
getting
getting a
paid for
little.
this, but hey, the
Sorry, we're
first
not getting paid for
time.
this.
We love
Sorry,
it. We love it.
but they
Wow.
support unions. They support unions. When we were on strike, they invited me to a thing, and they did everything for me for free, which normally costs like hundreds of dollars. They're icons, and they donated their elixirs for free for our party. So they're big fans of unionism and activism. So Curious Elixirs is a nice brand. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry.
we need to talk to them. I love it.
Yeah, they're iconic. They're all hot. I love them.
So how do
Yeah.
you navigate this? How are you like you have busted it. You've totally busted it. You and your hubby, both of
Yeah.
you. You are living, thriving. You are earning your, you know, just your dollars, well-earned
Hmm.
dollars with your art.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
did you do that?
I I really refuse, even in the early eras where it was hard and I had to cry in the bathroom about a side card. And I was working my restaurant job and I joined SAG after. I think my decision in joining as soon as I was able was the domino effect of like, I'm a professional. Act like it.
Mm,
Act like it. Do professional people sit there and go, oh, I'm suffering.
mm,
Everything's hard. I struggle. I'm just struggling all the time. Well, I think words are very powerful. And I think
yeah.
if you constantly identify with the starving artist, struggling actor energy, you might get lost. You might get lost in the sauce. Something might happen. Um, Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. But I refuse to be like a starving artist. I refuse to be an example of a struggle. I want to be an example of my best self. And my best self isn't a struggle, you know? And one of the things I started doing is like, how can I make money
Mm-hmm.
while staying creative. And how can I do that when it doesn't take up 90% of my life? I want to have a life too, because as artists, I really believe as artists, we have to have lives.
Yeah.
We have to fall in love. We have to get our hearts broken. We have to travel. We have to make some silly decisions. We have to drive to randomly a cabin and stay there for a week for no reason. And we got to hike the Grand Canyon. We have to, or even in a smaller way, we have to have artist dates for ourselves. We have to touch grass. We have to, uh, we have to meet people that normally we wouldn't meet or know. We have to
Yeah.
go to like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the more rich my life has been, and we all had hard things happen. I had my mom's cancer. She had it twice and she won. But the second time was for stage 4.
Mm.
And but she didn't struggle. She was hurting. She was having a hard time, but she had a support group and she was strong and she got through it. And she refused to be a victim of what happened. And I think that's the idea, is that's the mindset, even though she's like one of the quietest, sweetest, like, oh my goodness, Sarah, you look just so nice today. Like very sweet. And I don't know where I came from. Probably my dad more so in terms of personality, but I watch her and that's strength. That's strength to go through something very scary and trust in the people around you and have community and be open and vulnerable. That's what's
Mm.
strong. This whole struggle thing. Now I can see how someone's like, hey, I'm having a rough time. I am struggling. It's hard to be an actor. Totally. But don't take that identity and make it your own. Like, why would you take something that is harsh and rough and doesn't give you what you need as your identity? Nah. So what I did was like I started to creatively mentor people as we're doing now on Zoom, on especially when that's all came around, about their scripts, about their vision. How can we make this possible? Or where does it need a little work where it really pops? Or empowering artists. Or I have a couple people on a roster monthly that pay me just to look at their stuff and package it and see if it works. I book voiceover because I believe in Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And if
Mm.
you build something, you'll get something. And I built a little sound booth thing. It took a while. I carpeted it. I put all the padding. I did the thing. And then I started to book voiceover because I had the space. And when you audition for stuff, they're like, "Do you have a studio?" I'm like, "I do."
Mm.
And they're like, "What? Okay, cool."
Mhm.
And also I worked hard on my voiceover stuff. So between voiceover stuff, mentoring and guiding those, having points or pieces of other people's IPs and mine from things I've either sold or whatever, and then also booking acting work, but and then what really got me over the hump, I think, from going from I'm working my ass off, not doing what I want to do, and this is struggle energy, what's happening is when I started to make pitch decks for others. Something that I can do and I've done many times. It never occurred to me that I could also make them for other people and they should pay me for it. And that's the thing. People should pay you for your
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Art is, of course, subjective. Art is transient. Art is forever, also. Art is all these things, but you don't get it for free. You know, you can get it for free if I want to make a video about your ideas and I want them out there. But when it comes to like my skill set, if I'm doing a trade for you, a craft, I should be paid for that. And I don't
Yes.
know why a lot of actors don't think they should be paid for that. And once I got past that, I just started making money doing what I love.
Amen.
I don't know how else to describe it. I think also too, a lot of actors are good at certain things. Focus on those things and people will pay you for it. They will. There's a lot of creatives out there, people that are stuck in the corporate jobs that I refuse to do, that have the money, that want to get out there creatively. And they find someone like me or a creative who has done it, and I'm here to guide them and
Mhm.
make their ideas a reality. Because some of them, I'm working with this guy, he is in his 80s and he lives in Hawaii and he's done real estate his like whole life. Well, I don't know how long, but he's been through a lot of stuff, but he did his real estate in his adult life, making money. Money's not an issue. It's just getting his creative ideas out there. And my God, does he have so many that are
Mm.
brilliant. And
Mm.
that's why I'm his guide to get them out there. And we're having meetings tomorrow for getting funding for a huge project that he's on and that I have points in, that I have ownership with some. So that's what I'm saying, guys. You just gotta, get on friends, do what makes you happy, and lead from a place of love, not scarcity. That scarcity shit will absolutely fuck you up.
Lead from a place of love. This has been amazing, Sarah. We want to keep you. You're one of those.
I'm here.
We want to keep you. And we're definitely going to invite you again. Please come back on. There's so many.
I'd so come back, yeah.
You're working on so much and it's so amazing. And just like, then we can talk about it again, where you're at. Wow, this has been a wild ride. And to the end of like, lead with love and the money will follow. And you guys forget that old myth. Just forget it. We don't need this starving some blah, blah shit. Just saying, listen to the three bitches here. Hi. No.
Three bitches, okay? We know what's up. Because like a lot of that, I think the world is built, the system is built to keep you. There's like a red tape, invisible red tape that we create ourselves sometimes. And it's like, why? Just do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect either. That's insane. Art does not need to be perfect. That's wild too. So yeah, lead with love, not fear. That's another fear thing. Everything starts from either love or fear. And everything that's good comes out of it is the love part. Everything that's like anger, all the other feelings of scarcity, whatever, that's the fear. So lead with love and you're gonna be successful. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. This was a blast.
We kind of need to sing a little bit like in the end. Like, is there anything like ending tune you have for us?
I'm trying to think, what would I want to sing? I don't even know. What do you guys normally do at the end?
Nothing like this. It's just because
Nothing
you're
like
here.
this. It's just like, wow, do you guys do like a
riding
sing along at the end?
It's just like we're just on the D, on
Riding
the
the
train.
Dr. Seeds.
With
Yes.
Dr. Seeds.
Yeah, there's like, let me think of something really fun that I was like,
And we're gonna start dancing. We're just
okay,
like we're ready for
Stevie
you.
Nicks is my
Warming up.
icon and legend. We love Stevie Nicks. My wedding looked like Stevie Nicks. So just like the white-winged dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, said ooh. I like that.
You definitely can sing.
Thank you. I try.
Love you.
I'm so-
love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Love you
Thank
both.
you. Thank